Alright guys, so it's our turn to figure out which one of these has the most volume. I've already sent out a message to you guys having you rank which one you think is the best. As of right now, what you guys have said is you said that this one holds the most. Is what you said as of right now. So what we're going to do now is use math and figure out which one actually is the one that holds the most volume by using a tape measure and finding the height and the radius. Alright, so I'm going to start the long way first. I'm going to take the pitcher of water and pour it into each cup, and then pour it into the measuring cup and see which one or how much each one holds. All the way to the top. That one overflowed, and looks like I'm gonna have to add more water for this. Perfect. Alright, so now I'll pour each one of these into the cups, and now I'm going to take those and pour it into the measuring cup to see how much it holds. You ready? Alright, let's start with the coffee cup. We'll take this, pour it into this. That is just under 2 cups. Last cup. Same thing. This one is just under 1 3/4 cups. Half cup. That is right at 1 3/4 cups. And the last cup will be the tall glass cup. And this one looks like it's just under 1 1/2. Stuff like that. Alright, so now you can see which one holds the most. But before we do that, there are some error involved where how I poured it might have spilled, or just the measurement, and I just said it's about this much and all that kind of stuff. But let's be exact. That's why I fell in love with math, is because there's an exact answer. So now we're going to use a tape measure, and we're going to measure the radius and the height and actually figure out which one has the highest volume. Alright, so we're going to measure the volume of each cylinder. So we have to have the formula. Volume equals pi r squared h. R represents the radius, h represents the height, and we'll start with the coffee cup. The coffee cup, the diameter is 3, which means the radius has to be half of that, so the radius is 1.5, and the height is 5 inches. Alright, so remember the volume equals pi r, the diameter was 3, so the radius is 1.5, and the height was 5. So V equals, remember this is 1.5 squared, so 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25 times 5, and then just bring down your pi. I'm going to go ahead and multiply 2.25 times 5. That's 11.25. You can use your calculator just to check, which I'm doing. That's correct. So it's 11.25 pi. If the problem says leave it in terms of pi, then you just leave it like this. If it actually says to work it out and estimate or approximate, we're going to plug in 3.14, which is what pi is, and that would be 11.25 times 3.14. So this volume is 35.325. Now we measured in inches, and volume is always cubed because you have the radius times the height. That's 3 inches you're multiplying together, so it's inches cubed. There is your volume for the coffee cup. All right, now to the short glass. So again, we're going to measure the diameter. This one's going to be a little tougher because it's more round. It looks like 2 and 12 over 16. 12 over 16 reduces to 3/4, so it's 2.75. We're going to take 2.75, divide that by 2 so we can get the radius. So our radius is 1.375 squared. Now we need the height. Now again, this is a little tricky because the water only goes up to this line right here. So we're going to measure from there to the end. And again, that height is 3 inches. So 3 inches here. Now I'm going to go ahead and approximate because I'm already plugging in all the numbers. And we have 29.68 inches cubed. Alright, so we're going to move quickly through the math cup. The math cup, again, the height is 5. And the diameter is 2 7/8. That's 2.875. So if I plug that in, divide that by 2, I get 1.4375 squared. And by doing all that math, again, plugging in, I get 44 inches cubed. All right, moving on to the last tall glass. Again, same thing with this glass. It only stops to here. So measure from there to there, and we have 5 1/4. So 5.25 is the height, and the diameter is 2.5, which is really 1.25 radius. So we get on this one, volume equals pi 1.25 squared times 5.25. So that gets the volume, which is 25.76 inches cubed. Alright, so you guys, most of you chose the tall glass to be the biggest. It actually was the smallest. So that will be a 1, the smallest. Then the short glass, which is 2. Then the math cup, which is 3. And then the coffee cup, which looked like the smallest, was actually the biggest volume. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the lesson over volume. Maybe this will help you with study islands if you guys need to go back and do any of those. I know this is a rough time right now. We're trying to do the best we can. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me or text me through Teams or whatever we got to do. And I hope you guys are enjoying your time with your family. See you guys.